I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I'd do a predictor for all the players in the Newcastle squad. The 25 that were picked, as well as a couple of others that were left out that haven't went out on loan. Martin Dubravka, I'll start off with our number one. Obviously, we're best goalkeeper. I think he'll go up to 79. I think he was so consistent last year, and he deserves to be ranked up. So I'm going to go with Martin Dubravka, 79. Next up, I've got Carl Darlow, probably the number 2 goalkeeper in the squad. I'll probably go with a 71. He's been around that range for the past couple of years on FIFA, and I don't see him moving from there. The number 3 goalkeeper, Rob Elliott, who hasn't played for Newcastle in a long time actually. I think he'll go down to 67. He's been around the same rate as Darlow, but I think he'll be ranked down to 67 this year. On to the right backs. First of all, DeAndre Yedlin. I'd say 75. He hasn't had the best of years, let's be honest, in the Premier League, so I think it's Andy's injury as well, so the FIFA will probably rank him down from his initial overall from FIFA 19. Next, the new lad, Emil Croft. I looked into this when he first signed, actually. He'll be a 72 overall in the Premier League, which I suppose he hasn't done anything to warrant a higher mark or anything. It just changed club. It's really all he's done of their value. Manquillo is the next one, and I actually think he'll go up a rating. I think he was 73, 74 overall last year on FIFA, so I think he'll go up 1 or 2 maybe, because I think he actually has improved. He was our best right back last year in the Premier League over Yedlin, and I think he's been one of our best players during pre-season as well. So yeah, for me, Manquillo will probably go up to a 74, maybe even a 75 on level with DeAndre Yedlin. And Lascelles, the captain, I think he was a 78 last year. I think he'll stay the same. I don't think he's had a horrible year, and very solid at the back. If anything, he hasn't done anything to warrant it higher or lower, so I'd say definitely a 78 overall for Jamal Lascelles. Next up, I've got Fabian Shaw, and I think he deserves an 80 rated. He's definitely our best player, and I think his passing stats need to be a lot higher as well, because he can pick out a pass unbelievable. Like Virgil van Dijk was playing the same pass as Shaw does on a weekly basis for Newcastle. Sky Sports probably going to a fate of orgasm. Like Paul Dummett, I think it's about time that went up, and a change of position as well, because usually have him at left back on the game, and I think with him now going into centre of defence for Newcastle in the back 5 that we'll have, I think he'll go up a couple of overalls now. I'd like to see him at a 77 at the very least. It's what he deserves. Mr. Reliable as always. Florian Lejeune, I think he is one of our most naturally gifted centre backs, and he deserves a high rating. However, I think he will get marked down from a 78 or 76 due to his major injury, but if he comes back and does well, I can see FIFA restoring that in the update and making him back to the overall he was at. Kieran Clark, and I can see it being exactly the same again. Fernandez, who's been a 76 overall, I can see him going down to 74 actually, with him being knocked out of the team and obviously getting a bit older. I think he's our oldest centre back now, so I think he'll go down a couple of overalls. No Jetro Williams, but I think, judging off what I've seen, I think he's around a 75 overall player. He's probably one to watch for Ultimate Team, because he'd be very, very quick. A lot of pace, and Yedlin's probably the same. Next up, Matt Ritchie. He's been one of them. He's been one of them players. I don't know about you, but on career mode for me, he's not very good, is he? He's just got no pace or anything. He's never been really good on FIFA, but it's a tough one. I'd probably go for 76 for Matt Ritchie with work rate high. Sean Longstaff. It's a difficult one, this one, and with his surges into the first team, things like that, he's going to have a much higher rating. I think he's going to have around a 75 overall from the start, but if he has a good season, I can say that going up to an 80 quite easily. On to John Joe Shelby, he's always been one of our higher players in terms of overalls on the last few FIFAs, so I can say that's staying the same. Give him a 77. I think he's nowhere near our best player anymore, because of they've fallen out the team last season, and he's kind of doing it again, to be honest. He's fallen out of favour due to Hayden and Sean Longstaff. Sung-Yueng, he was actually quite a decent player on FIFA last year, quite underrated, but I think his last year he's been dreadful for Newcastle now. He's had a couple of really bad performances, fell out of favour with the team since he went on to the Asia Cup. I'd say this lad's 75 overall. That's been generous. Isaac Hayden, I think this lad deserves a bit of an upgrade. His resurgence since January has been phenomenal. His link-up play with Sean Longstaff especially deserves high praise, and I'd give him a 77. and I think that's a real, from what he was at last year, that's definitely something I'd be hoping for him to get. Matty Longstaff, I think, will get a 66 overall, just similar level to what his brother was at this time last year. Jack Colbeck, I think he'll be very lucky if he's a 70 rated player this year. He's been up to 77 in the past, but I'd say he'd be lucky to get to a 70 rate. I'll give him a 68. Saive, probably the same as Colbeck, to be honest, 68. They both don't warrant a place in this squad. I've got Christian Atsu down as a 75. I think he's always an underrated player on Ultimate Team. He's always got loads of pace, and he's always a cheap option to have from the start. So he's definitely a player I'd recommend you go for if you're into your Ultimate Team. Miggy Almiron I've got next, and he got a really high rating on the last FIFA actually, 78. He's a very pacey player again, someone that I'd recommend for the Ultimate Team early on, especially if you're not like hammering the packs. I'd definitely get him involved. ASM is the next one, and again very pacey, so if you're going for all Newcastle squad, counter-attacking football's your way forward because the pace is going to be phenomenal. ASM, he's going to have 5-star skill moves. Any players that like the montage goals or anything like that, he's a player definitely for you. But what rating am I going to give him? I'll give him a 78. Joelinton, and I think Joelinton will get a 78 overall. I think he'll be quite a decent player to use. Actually, he'll have a lot of strength and he'll have a lot of pace as well. So he'd be someone to have someone to accommodate your wingers if you use that. Dwight Gale, I'd probably give him a 74. So he's on the decline in his career at Newcastle a bit. He hasn't had a chance. He's lost the number 9 shirt, so 74 overall for Dwight Gale. There's Andy Carroll, and that's a really tough one for me actually. I don't know what he'll get. I think it'll be a 76 because on his day we'll know what Andy Carroll can do. Very talented player, really good in the air, always a threat in the box and with a cross and things like that. So yeah, Andy Carroll's probably 76. Be one of them for Ultimate Team as well, can accommodate your wingers who can throw in a decent cross. He'd always be a danger man in the air for you. And the last but not least, I've got Yoshinori Mutu at a 74. He was a gold card last year on Ultimate Team, but I cannot see him retaining that because of the poor year he's had at Newcastle and struggling to get into the team. So I think a 74 would be fair for him. So if you enjoy that, do let us know. Leave a comment below what your ratings would be, because I'm actually really interested to see what you have got to say, because I think I've been safe with a lot of mine, but you never know on that one. But yeah, let us know what you think below. If you've enjoyed this video, let us know by leaving a like, leaving a comment, but subscribe to Newcastle Fans TV, and yeah, I'll catch you in a bit.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and